Hey everyone, welcome to Stampin' with No. Today's video is my June 2025 free card class to go tutorial. And before I actually dive into that, I just wanted to go over what's happening at Stampin' Up. If you've watched my previous videos this month, you know that Stampin' Up is having a wonderful sale on sweets and sweet products. When you purchase one, you get the other one for 50% off. It seems to be going really, really well. And if you've been hesitating on purchasing a sweet, this is really a great opportunity to dive into it. If you've shied away, because of the sticker price, this is really a great opportunity. You get more bang for your buck. I'm not going to go into the details since I have reiterated it a couple times in my previous videos. But like I've always said, if you guys have any questions or if something I say is confusing, please don't hesitate. Reach out to me and I will try to do a better job of explaining what's happening. So moving on to the tutorial. If you're new, the way my tutorial works is you place a minimum order of $45 before tax and shipping, and you will be able to earn these free card class kits. I mail them straight to you, and I make 3 cards, so you'll get 2 of each of those 3 designs. So you're getting 6 kits by placing an order of $45. So it's to me, it's kind of fun, most especially if you happen to have the exact same stamp set that I use. But I tend to make my cards to where you can pretty much apply any of the stamp sets that you have if the one I'm using isn't really your taste. The video for today, I'm using the Sunrise Sailing Bundle. Unfortunately, this is not considered a suite, as it is a bundle, and I wanted to show you what it is because I'm using a lot of it. And the die has been wonderful, which you will see here. And what is so great about this particular bundle, if you're not familiar with the bundles, when you buy a bundle, you actually save 10%, and that's typically what I do is I end up getting bundles. This particular one, not only do you get the stamp set, which is a photopolymer, you also get the dies with it, and you also get an embossing folder that is a hybrid. Hybrid meaning there's one particular die, which is a sailboat, that you can emboss and die cut it at the same time. And you'll see that some of my cards will reflect that. So this is really a great stamp bundle to get because of the die cuts and also the embossing folder, because the embossing folder can pretty much stand on its own. So let me go ahead and bring over the first card so you can ooh and ah about it while I set everything up. Bring over my colors, and you guys know that blue does not like me, and it's so funny because I'm using majority of the in colors, and there's a beautiful color, Secret Sea. It's a super dark, deep, rich navy blue, much darker than what our Night of Navy is. And I wish I would have thought about it. I would have brought over a cardstock of the Night of Navy so you could see the comparison. But blue always gets on my fingers. It just is attracted to me, I guess. And I didn't realize until after I put all these cards together that I think I'm using Secret Sea blue on every card. So we'll see how far I can get through the video without getting ink all over me. So this is the first card, and you open it up this way, and it says, "So lucky to know you," which is from a different stamp set. And I did this a little bit different. I put a piece of cardstock just to try to give it some more color because of the white of it. But this is the new color. You got this dark here, which is that Secret Sea, and then this new cloud cover. I'm still trying to learn the names. So I'm going to put that over there, and I'll show you what you get in your kit. You'll get your envelope. And the inside, let's see, let me just flip this open. Let's see what we got going. This is for your envelope. This is a die cut off the dies that I was talking about. Then I left myself a note to shade because I was afraid I was going to forget. You get your card base already cut and scored. You'll get the inside cardstock and then the inside basic white. And then on the outside, you get that brand new Secret C, the cloud cover, which, ooh, I almost forgot. You got some seagulls there. The cloud. Let me leave this over here so I will remember. And then you can see with this embossing, you guys can see, it's a really deep, deep emboss folder. And I think it's just wonderful. And then you'll get some ribbon to do this knot right in here. I'm going to move this up just a little bit. All right, so I think what we're going to do is let's do some stamping and shading. Let's get that out of the way, and then we can move on with the assembly. This is pretty easy. I just wanted to make sure that I cover what I did with these knots. Okay, so let's do the inside, which is pretty easy. And let me bring that over. And since I'm using photopolymer, I want to bring over my piercing mat. And I know a lot of people, I almost dipped my hand in that ink. A lot of people don't use the foam mat when they're using photopolymer. I can't do it. It does not stamp very well. So if you guys are those that don't need the little cushion, kudos to you, because I am not that person. So I'm going to go ahead and ink this up. I'm going to go do the sentiment first. And I got to find it here in this stash. Here we go. And on these new ink colors, on the inks, I don't know if you've already received yours. I've had a couple of them that have been extremely juicy to where I actually had to get a paper towel and dab some of it off. It was just a little too much. And I used the trick with the spoon of pushing down on the ink pad to kind of push the ink down, and it still didn't work. So hopefully I've got these prepped that we won't have a problem. And I'm going to go ahead and stamp right down in here. This is part of the, I'm going to call the ocean waves that is in this stamp set. I did really close to almost using just one stamp bundle. I'm trying to, but I just like pulling out all kinds of stamp sets when I'm working on a card. It's just the way I am, but we'll see if you guys like this, minimizing the number of stamps. All right, so we're done. No, we're not done with this one. Where's my cloud? I think I used, yes, Ahoy. Let me find my cloud. These little seagulls, they are extremely thin. And they're tiny. And I think what I'm going to do, they are different, and I'll show you here in just a second. They are not exactly the same, so there's no issue with trying to figure out which one goes where. But it die cuts 3 at one time, and being different sizes, and I ended up using them on every card. So I apologize if seagulls is not your thing. You don't have to use it. The cards will still be beautiful without it, and you can just throw them away or gift them to somebody else. So we're done with the inside and done stamping. I'm going to move this out of the way because I know oh no, wait, we got to do some shading. I almost forgot. Left myself a note. All right, so right in here where the waves are, I just lightly, I don't even know if you can tell in here, I just lightly went over with my blending brush just to darken it, to kind of give it some contrast. So I'm going to do the same thing here. And I use my mini blending brush. I've got both the big and the, I guess it's considered large and small. And I don't know, I just keep going to my little one. I'm not quite sure why. So I take most of the ink off the page and just kind of walk it or circular motion onto the cardstock so that I don't have a blob imprint when I do that. So just a little bit. I don't even know if you can tell. It's got a little bit dark here and light here, but I think I'm good with it. And if this shading's not your thing, then you don't have to do it. It still turns out to be a beautiful card. All right, so I know I'm using that on another one. So let's see. Let me make sure I got everything good here. And all right, I'm done with my little note that says shade. All right, let's start assembling some of these things. So this will be the inside. And we'll do that. That'll work. Let's see how this goes. You guys see. Not that you really need to see me glue, but it's nice to, I think, for you guys to see how much glue or how little glue I actually put. It doesn't take a whole lot for it to stay. It's, you don't have to saturate it with glue. Just put that on there. I'm being brave. I should be using my bone folder for this. I'm putting this right here so I'll know to grab it. Just in case, since I am using blue. All right, so I'm going to take the front and I'm going to go ahead and just adhere that flat. And before I actually adhere it, let me put this down so I can see better with the lighting. Now, since this is embossed, I am putting a little bit more than what I usually do, down, especially down in here, because of the way that it's embossed. All right. Put that flat. Whoops. Now, the dark sea, I couldn't, not dark sea, secret sea. I'm trying to learn these names. I have a very thin border, and that was intentional. So I don't know if that's something you like or not, but that's what I did. All right, so now we're going to work on this knot. Now, I tried to do a nautical knot. I'm not a sailor, and it didn't work. So you'll have plenty if that's something you like to do. That was what I tried to do, but I just did a simple knot. So best way to do is to find the middle and just make a knot. Now, I did not pull tight. This is not quite in the middle. Let me move it over to the middle. Just makes life a little bit easier. Well, it's all tangled here. Here we go. I did not pull tight, okay? So then I want to do a second one close. Now, you don't have a whole lot of room, so you need to just be mindful when you spread them out. And then the next one be somewhere right in here, if I can get it going. We'll see. Not about right. Yeah, it's a little bit this way. All right, there we go. That looks good. All right, so I'm just gonna put that in the middle. And all I did was I tacked it down with a mini dot. And then I tacked it on the back. Where are my mini dots? Here we go. I think I used mini dots. Now, if you're going, I'm going to adhere this piece flat. I'm not going to use any dimensionals. So if you plan on using dimensionals to pop this piece up, you might want to just put a piece of clear tape back here to keep the ribbon in place. Just in case, you know, sometimes ribbons tend to get loose You don't want your card falling apart. So I'm not pulling super tight because I don't want to pull on that knot, and I just wrap it around and press down on it. Okay. Let me put this away because I'm going to use it again. All right, so now I think we're done with all the stamping. I think we can put everything together. All right. Here we go. Let's do the inside. And I hope you like this embossing folder. It's really great. And you know, the camera just does not really show just how deep it's embossed. I don't know what word to use, but that's how I describe it. It's just really deep. And I absolutely love it. All right, we're done with the inside. Now we're going to move to the front. We're all good, right? And like I said, I'm just going to do, whoops, I almost threw my glue on the floor. I'm just going to go ahead and do it flat. But here, I'm going to put some glue right on the ribbon just so that it helps keep it intact. All right. Checking to make sure I didn't have any ink on my fingers. All right. And you might have to, I go around because I don't want to push down on the part that's embossed. All right. Okay. And then, let's see. Oh, we got to do the seagulls. Now, let me show you real quick. I was telling you they're different sizes. I'm going to keep them on the glass so that you can see each one is different. And I think the way, you can see how they're all different. I think what I'm going to do is, as I build the kits, I'm going to put all of the seagulls in one bag so that you have them all together. Now, they should be easy enough to separate. And quite honestly, you don't have to unless that's just a thing that you want to make sure that you have 3 different layouts, because you don't really need to, honestly. And this one actually has 2 birds, 2 seagulls, where'd it go? Embossed, and I just covered one up. You don't have to. I don't know why I did it. I actually did it on that one. It must have just been the spacing of where I wanted to do it because I was not paying attention. So I'll just put him this way. All right, we're done we're done gluing. And I get my chamois, put this chamois on that side. And I want to pop up my cloud, so let me get my dimensionals. I'm just going to put one. One should be plenty since it's so little. And I'll put it that right there, I think will work. Make sure that's straight. Yeah, that looks straight. All right. Now the envelope. Now this is a die cut from that bundle, and I can't remember if you get 1 or 2 dies. I just don't remember offhand. And I thought that would be pretty right there. So it's thin enough that the width of your Stampin' Seal will work. Definitely use glue, but the Stampin' Seal will be fine. Some glue on the edge. I need to turn it around so I can see. And I'm putting the flat side right on the edge. I guess you don't have to. It doesn't really matter, but I did. And then trim off the edges. Like so. All right. We are done with card number 1. All right. looks great. I think you guys like it. I love that embossing folder. Perfect. All right. Now, let me bring over card number 2. And let you ooh and ah while I get set up. I'll move this over here. Trying to make some room here. I got a mess over here off to the side you guys can't see, but it's a mess. All right, card number 2. Use my secret sea color again. Some more shading. Again, you know, if you're not a shading person, that's fine. Don't worry about it. You can skip that part. But here is more of the dyes that comes from that bundle. And then the inside, it was a little stark for me, so I just did a little bit of shading in the center. All right, so let me show you everything you get. You're going to get some extra pieces. Your envelope's going to come to you already embossed. I'm really having fun with embossing my envelopes. It's just been a lot of fun. You'll get your card base cut and scored. I'm not even sure if I mentioned any of that on that first card, but you do. Then you got a piece for your sentiment. This is going to be shaded. This is what goes right here. I just did another layer there to give it some depth. And then these seagulls, you get 3 more. I'm going to put those right over there. Then your sailboats with the pieces come together. All right, doing good. This is for your background right in here. And this is what goes in your front. I did a die cut, the everyday arches. And this is an extra piece. This is what goes here. So I'm giving this to you because you can certainly use it on something else. I mean, I can picture it. So this is going to be in your kit as an extra piece. Okay. And then on the inside, inside sentiment. Okay. So what I want to do, let's do some shading, stamping now. And then we'll be able to assemble. I think is going to be the easiest, as long as I don't lose those seagulls. So this and this is what we're going to be working on. We can bring over this in my piercing mat. Let's do some shading first. And what I like to do, personal preference again, is when I'm doing a little bit of a shading and then stamping a sentiment on top, I tend to do the shading first. I've done it where I've done the stamped image first and then went back and shaded, and I didn't allow it to dry enough for as many times as I was constantly going over it. So, and it smeared. So I've just learned to shade first. But again, personal preference. All right, so we're going to do that. That's one of the new colors, the Timid Tiger. Whew, and that's a lot. And again, I'll do the circular so I don't have the, a blotch like that. I don't like that. So I do it, but doesn't mean I have to like it, right? Okay, so here I'm going in. I'm just going to do just a little bit since it has a lot on that brush. I am barely putting any pressure. It's almost like I'm just laying it normal flat and going over it. And that is a lot. That is a juicy stamp pad, I think. All right, that's it on that color, right? So let's go ahead and stamp Happy Retirement. And this is another one. It's a great stamp set because it actually has Happy Retirement. There's not that many. They've done, this might be the only one right now that is current that says Happy Retirement. But there's not that many stamp sets that actually say Happy Retirement, I don't think. All right, that looks good. I'm No ink, we're good. All right, we're done with that. And I know I need to stamp. What was my sentiment? Congratulations. And I love the font on this stamp set. I just think it's so pretty. I wish I could write like that. And right in the middle, and I'll cut it down. Perfect. And what else? Let's see. Doing that, and I didn't bring that color. Let's see, let me pull that color back over. I think we're done with these. Bring back cloud cover, and I'm going to do the same thing just like I did on the first card. Dip it and just lightly go over it. It's kind of hard to tell with the lighting. There we go. I'm pressing down a little bit harder than what I did with the Timid Tiger. There we go. And I go in circular motion. I don't know. It's just, I think it's just the way I was taught instead of going back and forth. All right, I think that's pretty good. I think you guys can tell the difference, especially when you put it against the basic white. All right, and let's see. I think that's it with all of the inks. So we put that up. And we are ready to put some adhesive to the project. All right, so let's put these sailboats together. Super, super easy. Not difficult. Let me put those over there. All right, I'm gonna make sure you guys. All right, so you're gonna get 4 pieces of the sailboat. Be careful right here because that's real thin. You don't want to bend it. And then this piece goes right on top and just lines up. Hopefully you were able to see that. I'll show it better. I just did that wrong. No, I'll show it over above the glass. You could probably see it better. With this being a dark color, it may be hard to see. All right. So this one is actually the opposite side. So again, be careful with that right there. And then this piece here goes right on top just like that. And you just line it up. Easy peasy. And just a little bit. You might be able to pop it up with dimensionals. I don't know. I don't know how that would look. Line that up. All right, and then let's glue the inside, and then there's a bit of a trick there with that. To line that up, this goes on the inside. And actually, the written tutorial that you get, I think I actually put a note in there about the sequence of this card. I'll tell you, and I think it'll jog my memory that that's exactly what I said. All right, so before you actually adhere this down, you've got to do 2 things. Let me close my glue up since I'm talking a little bit more. All right, you guys can see, right? This piece, let me move this over. The DSP is gonna go right behind like that, okay? That's step 1 before adhering this. Then let's do that now since I've got this going. I'll walk you through it. And it just needs, I'm not popping this up, I'm going flat. Come on, glue. If you decide to use dimensionals on this, just put probably a little bit more glue than what I'm doing. But I'm just going right on the edge so it'll stay in place. And I'm not squeezing my glue bottle because I don't need a whole lot of glue, and I'm afraid a big old blob's going to come out. So just line it up just like that. Just want to make sure that it's got a little bit of the glue on the outside. Okay, so then this piece that we shaded, which goes right here, I highly recommend that you glue this down first, or pop it up, however you want to do it, adhere it before, because I'm going to do my best to make sure that this is the exact same, because it's different cuts, the same measurement, but you might have to do a little bit of trimming. All right, and I'd hate for you to glue everything down and then only to find out that this strip was a little bit longer and it needed some trimming. I can't imagine it being any shorter, but if anything, it might just be a tad longer. All right, beautiful. Looks like a sunset or sunrise. All right, so we're gonna glue this on. And I did not use any embellishments, and that was intentional. I felt like there was a lot going on with the embossing folder that I used and the seagulls, and I kept looking at it and I thought, nah, I'm just gonna leave it. But some people really like adding a bunch of embellishments, and I think that's great if you're one of them. Okay, make sure I didn't do that upside down. We're good. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and add the sailboats. And I did pop that up. It's flat here because you got some layering going on right here. You guys can see. So I'm going to put, I don't know how I did my dimensionals. I'm going to use my little dimensional since it's a little area there. And I'm going to pop it like that. There we go. So, whoop, it's stuck. I got glue on my tweezers. So I'm going to go there and there. So I'm going to put one here and one there. Should be enough. And a little bit of glue. All right, and going in. Go over. Perfect. And I just put the sailboat right on the edge, but I don't think it really matters. And then this one, I'm going to overlap just a smidgen. And I think I used definitely a small one. I'm going to put one there. I don't think you'll see it. I'll put one like that. Oh, almost forgot my glue. A little bit of glue. Maybe close up my little bottle. All right. And then just overlap just a little bit. Push down. There. All right. Let's see. Seagulls. Just random. As long as you don't do it upside down, I guess, right? There, and then this little guy. I think that looks good. Get my glue. And this one you can see there is a seagull there that's embossed. I don't remember where this was. I'm going to put it right there. Probably looking on the card, you can tell that the seagulls are different. Each one is. So hopefully you won't mind all of them being in one package. I think you'll understand when you see just how tiny they are. But I tell you, the die cuts out beautifully. I didn't have any issues. All right, so I'm just doing a little bit of glue right there. Let me go ahead and trim this up It's a little too long. Cut down to size. Yeah, where's my scissors? Right in front of me. All right, so I'm just going to cut. I'm just eyeballing it. I tend to eyeball the labels. I'm not one to perfectly align it. I think I want it down just a little bit. So glue there. So 2 dimensionals there and 1 dimensional there. I think will work. I'm going to use my little dimensionals. Seems to fit a lot better. No risk of seeing it when it's on the card. I like when the dimensionals are hidden. Oop. Tell you what, this bundle would have been a beautiful suite. You imagine the ocean paper work. Oh, I just love it. All that paper. I love working with it. All right, so I'm just centering it down. There we go. Beautiful. Awesome. All right, this is your extra piece, and the envelope is already done. So this is card number 2. All right, let me put this up. And let me see. This is probably my favorite one. I'll let you ooh and ah. I bring everything over. And what am I using? I think I'm just using, yeah, I'm just using the Secret Sea color. Absolutely love it. Love the colors. You know, my intent was to use all of the in colors for this month's free card class. It did not work. The color that's not used here is that strawberry slush, that pink color. I put pink with this, and honestly, I just didn't like it. So I pulled out, this is Poppy Parade, and I just fell in love with the colors. So this is using in colors minus the strawberry slush, but I did use strawberry slush on some other video. So I feel like I did what I wanted to do. But so you certainly can, if you recreate this, you can go ahead and use the strawberry slush. You guys might like it. I just like this color combination. Just personal preference, I guess. So you'll get your envelope, which we're going to stamp that sailboat. Let me bring my stuff over. I got so excited with the colors that I forgot to bring everything over. All right, so you're going to get your card base cut and scored. There's lots of pieces here. Get my tweezers. All right, you're going to get, for your label, you'll get a strip here. And I'm liking the white, basic white on basic white. It's just, I don't know what it is, that look. I'm just really into it now. Now you're going to get 2 sailboats. This was out of that hybrid embossing folder. It embossed and die cut at the same time. So it's a 2-for-1. And so you're going to get 1 of each, and you're going to use them on both cards. And I'll show you how I did that. All right. And then let me clean my tweezers. The 3 seagulls. And then you're going to get the circle that is going to come to you die cut. The embossed piece for the outside, and then on the inside card base. All right. So let's see. We're going to stamp first, because I'll have to assemble that. So let's do some stamping. And again, I absolutely love the font. All right. I don't want to jinx myself. I'm not going to say anything about this blue ink. And we're going to use Best Wishes. Really, really like this font. Can you guys see? Yep. Oh, wow. I'm going to get ink. Here we go. It knew I was thinking it. I pressed too hard and it got a big old blob. That was an accident that was going to happen. All right, so just nice even press. Perfect. And then the inside, I forget what I used. We used the seagulls and inside sentiment. Get that. What sentiment? You are destined for great things. It's a great quote. You can use that. I'm pressing way too hard. I'm getting ink all over my image. And it's going to be a big old blob. And I didn't bring any extra paper over, so it's going to have to be what it is. All right, I'm going in. There we go. And let's see, we've got the seagulls. What's great about this stamp set, and I don't think you're going to really be able to tell, I'm going to point with my tweezers. It actually has a little bit, you can see where the head would be, the silhouette of the seagull. It's not just a, like it is with the die cut, just a straight curve, if you will. And I think that's so cool. I've got some other stamp sets that have got seagulls, but I don't think it's done like that. I just think it's really cool. So I'm just going to use 3. I just do odd number, and I'm going to do one kind of off the page. He's flying out. So we're done with the inside. Now the envelope is the sailboat. And I had him off just a little bit. I don't know if you can tell. Just hanging over. I hated to cut off the whole sailboat. So I just cut off just a little bit. I really wanted to see it. I just think it's a neat image. All right. So I'm just going just on the edge. Beautiful. All right. Ooh, I got it on me. That's okay. We're almost done. Make sure my thumb's dry. All right, we are done stamping. Let me put this up before something happens. Put him away. All right, make sure all my fingers are clean. Now that's dry. All right, I'm gonna let that dry. All right, let's put this on the inside. Start putting things together. I think this will work. Excuse me. All right. I forgot to take a drink of water before I started this video. But we're close to the end. I think I can do it. Go. All right. And that doesn't feel like it's burnished very well. Let me do that. And we are, inside's done, envelope's done. Let's go ahead and do some partial assembly, just so that we can get some pieces out of the way. No rhyme or reason. There's not a sequence in this one, just personal preference of getting it cleared. Make some more room. Again, because of the embossing folder, I'm putting a little bit more glue than what I typically do. It's nothing like giving a card to somebody that has embossing and then it starts to come up. So I'm probably overzealous with my glue, but better safe than sorry. All right, look at how it looks great. Looks great. All right, so I did this one flat, and it's enough to cover the sails. So I'm going to do that flat, and I'm going to end up popping up the actual sailboat. But you could pop all of it up. It'll look gorgeous too. All right. So to get two sailboats, let me close this up. So I'm going to get my scissors out. All right. So what you want to do, let's see, I'm going to do this over the glass. I think you're going to be able to see. Let's go this way. Better lighting on this side. You want to cut right down in there. Just snip that off on one of them, okay? Because I'm going to snip. What am I going to snip? I'm going to, it doesn't really matter, I guess. I want the red sail. So the blue is going to go on this one. So I'm going to snip this one off. So you'll see that you're getting one of each. So I'm just trimming right off. I didn't do that very good. I'll clean that up. All right. So that's going to be used on your other card. Because what's going to happen is you're going to cut this and it'll be on there. Now, I was going to cut it for you, but you might just like it being one solid color. So I did not want to limit you on your creativity when you receive this kit. All right, so hopefully you won't mind. So I'm just going to glue that to there. All right. Now, I'm not cutting this red one because I already have this done, but you would just line it up. Basically replacing the red. All right, so I'm going to pop that up, and right in here, I think you guys can see, that's the bottom of the sailboat on the embossed piece. So I just made sure that some of it was covered. Doesn't necessarily need to be all of it, because you really can't tell. And I can't remember. I did put dimensionals, so I put dimensionals here and dimensionals here. And I'll do the same thing, so you guys can see how I did it. And I used my small ones. I think you guys can see. I just made sure it wasn't sticking out. I'm going to put 3, since it's going to be over the embossed piece. You just making sure. There we go. That should be enough. Come on. We're almost done, guys. Hopefully, this is not too long of a video. All right, so I'm going to line that up. And it's sort of centered. Oop, we'll bring him down just a little bit. Doesn't look centered to me. There we go. All right, I'm going to push down on that. So I want to pop that up, and again, I'm going to trim. And just eyeballing it. And popping it up again. I'm just going to, since I got my little dimensionals, my minis, I'm going to just go ahead and use that up. All right, get that out of the way. See if I can do this centered. Right there would work. All right, last is the seaballs. I did good not losing them. All right. Small one. Come on. I'm afraid to press real hard. Big old blob will come out. glue on my fingers. And then, come on. This one. Love, love, love this. I love the colors. I know when you see something in like the catalog, the annual catalog, or even online, the colors just really do not do it justice until you actually get it smack in front of you. And this looks nautical to me, just the colors that were used. Okay, so we are done. Let me get this out of the way. That's the extra piece for the second card, since I did that. So this is card number 3. All right, what do you think? Favorite? All right, let me bring them all over. Card number 3. Do a real quick recap so you guys can see. Let me clear my glass mat there. Card number 2. Love, love, love it. And card number 1. Love, love, love. All in view, right? All right. Super quick recap. I don't think I even gave you the dates, actually, other than maybe how to get your kits. So for month of June, you guys will get these kits by placing a minimum order of $45 before tax and shipping. And I'll send 6 kits to you, be 2 of each design. Plus, I've got my written tutorial, which I don't think I mentioned that early on. So for folks that are new, you also get a written tutorial that I'll email you, and it has pictures, a list of all the products, plus the ordering number. I mean, I go into detail with that for you, try to make life easy when you guys are looking things up. And obviously the list of products that are used, what colors I use, and the measurements for everything that I'm doing. I've got pictures, close-up of the shading, how to do the shading, things like that. So hopefully you guys will find the written tutorial beneficial. Any of the orders over $75 before tax and shipping, you'll get the free kit, written tutorial, plus a pack of dimensionals. And, you know, everybody needs a pack of dimensionals, right? And then any of those orders over $100, you get everything that I just mentioned, in addition to a pack of embellishments. Also, with the sale this month, with the suites, it's really super easy to be able to achieve getting all of these things that I just mentioned. Plus, on some of my other videos, I did mention that if you happen to order that particular bundle that I was using, that I would also give you a kit out of that. So check out my videos if you've not done so yet. Okay, so I think this is a wrap. I think I've covered everything. Hopefully I've not made any errors in speaking. Sometimes I say dimensionals when I really mean embellishments, and vice versa. So hopefully I've done okay on this video. But I hope you've enjoyed watching this. I hope you guys are excited about getting your kit in the mail. And just want you guys just to have fun with it and get creative. So thank you for sticking with me. Thank you for staying with me with the channel, for liking and subscribing. I truly appreciate it. And you guys have a wonderful week. And as always, happy stamping to each and every one of you. Take care.